this is not one person's battle. And I think the more and more people who are involved in it, the more likely it is to actually come to pass, that the reality of a vaccine.
Despite the development of incredibly effective and life-saving antiretroviral drugs that truly transform the clinical course of the disease in infected individuals, then it's important that the public doesn't lose sight of the fact that a vaccine is truly the ultimate way to control an epidemic.
I think there's a lot of apathy these days about AIDS. There are many global health problems and many global issues. We still haven't recovered from the economic downturn, but it remains a very big issue. There are more than 35 million people living with the virus as we speak, and there are more than 2.5 million new infections a year. And fortunately, the death rate has gone down because of medications, but what that also means is that the rate of new infections has actually increased in recent years.
What tends to happen is we sort of have a collective ADHD, so everybody's sort of looking around at the next thing, and so it's important that there continues to be a concerted effort.
This is a problem that crosses all borders. It does not know customs or immigration. It is a global problem, and the response needs to be as rapid as possible. With 7,000 or 8,000 new infections per day estimated, incident infections, speed and time is of the essence.
We have a first proof of concept suggesting that such a vaccine is possible, and yet there needs to be so much more that's done. So at the current pace of the field, essentially testing 3 concepts for efficacy in nearly 30 years, that pace is simply not sufficient to get to the finish line. We need more than 3 shots on goal.
When HIV and AIDS was first reaching the public's consciousness, it was LGBT organizations and activists that really pushed for this virus to be recognized as a threat and really pushed to make education available to people. In 2011, this has changed. I think that the activists are now the doctors and the clinicians and the researchers who are conducting these studies and trying to find treatments for HIV that are the real activists. They're the ones who are dedicating their lives to making a difference, and they're the ones who cry, who pat each other on the back every time that there's a breakthrough.
The issue here is how to prevent HIV. Ultimately, I think a vaccine is the most upscalable, durable mechanism to do that. But I think all of us should learn more about how HIV is transmitted and how to prevent HIV, be it through condom use, male circumcision, a variety of different techniques, increased testing to identify who is infected so they can get proper care, and in getting proper care that can diminish the risk to others, as well as participating in vaccine efforts.
If you hearken back to the day in Europe where cathedrals were built, and this idea here was that you had all of these people working on these cathedrals, and the cathedrals didn't get finished in any one individual's lifetime, that everyone who worked on it often knew that they weren't going to see the cathedral finished in their lifetime, but they were creating this thing of beauty, and so they knew they did their part in creating this thing of beauty that would benefit someone else in the future, in future generations. And I often think that my part, the part of all other HIV vaccine participants, is sort of like that, building this thing of beauty that's going to benefit generations to come.